it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an all new Chelsea fan channel. Whether you're here as a fan, Boris Johnson, no parties here though, unfortunately, but whether you're here as a fan, a neutral, bit of a laugh, enjoy my videos. Obviously I will be talking about Chelsea, massive fan, I like to get my point across. I got recommended to do this. I did do it before on an older account, but I got recommended to do this by a couple of people in my biology class at school. So thank you. Let's see how this goes. Probably take the piss out of me daily, but screw it. It's a bit of a laugh, isn't it, really? And I'm passionate for football. I can't play, but I love watching it and getting talking about it. And honestly, I love just sitting down with someone and talking about football with someone, especially like if they're a Chelsea fan. For the first video, I thought I'd go over a couple of things, and at the end of the video, I'd include a month preview, because obviously we've just gone into February. By the time this comes out, I'm hoping to get it out on the 3rd, which is the day that this tournament is starting, that the video is about. The FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, Chelsea are back in the Club World Cup for the second time. The first time we didn't win it. We lost to a Brazilian club, Corinthians, 1-0 in the final. So we're looking to correct that and also overcome Brazilian club Palmeiras. Hopefully they lose in the semi-finals, because this tournament is definitely between us and Palmeiras. So I'll be going over things like what the tournament is, what teams are in it, who can watch it in the UK, and the dates and times. And I'll also be going over squad predictions and detail. So let's get straight into it. So the 2022 FIFA Club World Cup is being held in United Arab Emirates. Now, it's kind of a random place, but it's to do with the World Cup. It was going to be held in Qatar because the World Cup is being held in Qatar. That's normally how it works. Wherever the World Cup's going, they hold the Club World Cup there in previous years. But due to circumstances with COVID and the buildings of the stadiums and getting the areas ready, they're not going to do it this year. So we're going to next best thing, United Arab Emirates. So who can qualify for said tournament? Well, Chelsea have obviously qualified through Champions of Europe. Now this is the same in every other continent. So from AFC, the Asian Football League, it was Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia. Gone itchy eye, so sorry. From the African continent, an Egyptian team, Al Ahly. Sorry if I get these names wrong. Then we have our CONCACAF team from South America, who is Monterrey from, sorry. Then we have our CONCACAF from Mexico, who are Monterrey. And then from Brazil, for CONMEBOL, South America, we have Palmeiras, our rivals in this, basically, because it's definitely between us and South America. It usually is. We're expecting that again. And then from the Oceanic Football Confederation, we have a team from Tahiti. Who you think Australia, because they're dominant in Oceania? No, Tahiti. And they are AS Pirelli. So where did Chelsea come into this tournament? Round 1? Surely no. So in round 1 is Al Jazeera versus AS Pirelli. Now this game is actually about 19.5 hours after time of recording this, so it may have been played by the time this video comes out. I'm hoping to get it out just before the tournament, so you can keep up to date with it. And that's the only match of round 1, because of how it's structured to actually prolong the tournament into a proper tournament. Then the second round, it's Al Ahly versus CF Monterrey. So them two teams come into it, and it basically teams come in order of continent, like bigness, like the level of football. So joining them in the second round is Al Hilal, and they go against the winner of the first round match. And then the big teams come in, like I said, in order of levels. So UEFA is the number one, and then Brazil is number two. But it could be argued it's the other way around because they're so close. That's what I'm saying. It'll be tough. So Palmeiras go against the winner of match 2, which is Al Ahly or CF Monterrey, and we will go against the winner of Al Hilal versus Al Jazeera or IS Pirae. So we could play 3 teams. So it's a bit confusing, but there's 3 options, but we can only play 1. And then the runners up of the second round matches go to play for 5th place, and the runners up of the third of the semi-finals go for 3rd place, and obviously you go for 6th and 7th in the previous match in the first round and that. And then obviously you have your final, which is obviously on the 12th of February, day before the Super Bowl. So great weekend if you love sports like I do. I'll be staying up that night to watch the Super Bowl and watching the football the day before. Come on, wow, proper football, and then football. So you're probably questioning me right now, how do you get to a final 2 from 7 teams? Because there's 7 continents and I've only named 7 teams. Now you'd be right, but there's not 7 teams. There are 8. Now this is because the winner, like the champion of the league from that country that the tournament's been held in, is also going through. So for example, if the tournament's being held in England this year, then Manchester City would also qualify alongside Chelsea because we beat them in the Champions League final. Sorry, City fans, but that's the way it is. And so City would also be playing as the champions of the top flight league of that country. So the team that actually won the top flight division in the United Arab Emirates is from Dubai, and they are called Al Jazeera, not the news channel, Al Jazeera Football Club. So who are these teams? So here is a look at the teams at the Club World Cup. So we'll start with Al Jazeera, who have got through, as I said, as being champions of their league. So they're an Emirati professional football club based in Abu Dhabi and competing in the UAE Pro League. Now, their last few fixtures are interesting. So they played in the Etisalat Cup quarter-final. Leg 2-2, they won 2-1, winning tie 5-4 on aggregate. Then they played the Arabian Gulf Super Cup in the final, and they won 5-3 on penalties after drawing 1-1. Then they beat Al Wasl 3-2 in, I'm presuming, the league. And then their most recent match, it was in the UAE President's Cup in the quarterfinal, and they lost 2-1. So there was some good form, really. So could be one to keep an eye out for, really. Next we have IS Pirae. I keep putting accents on them. I hope it's right, like Pirae, not Pirae, Pirae. So their last few fixtures are mind-blowing. They beat Central Sport 4-0, drew with Tiare Tahiti 0-0, and then they beat Olympic Mahina 3-0, then they beat Excelsior 8-1, then they beat Matatia 11-1, and then lost to AS Venus 1-0. In their last 4 games, they scored literally 21 goals and conceded 3 in 4 games. Wow. So this could be a team that scores a lot of goals, and we're hoping to see that, just not any against us, hey? So they are the Tahiti club, one of the most successful teams in Tahiti, having won the Tahiti Division Federale 9 times. They're also the first French Polynesian team to have reached the final of the OFC Champions League, which they achieved in 2006, and obviously they did it this year, well, last year, and won it. That's why they are competing in this tournament. Al Ahly. They are commonly referred to as Al Ahly. They are Al Ahly Sporting Club, so Al Ahly SC. Most successful club in world football in terms of trophies won. That's mind-blowing. You'd think, oh, Premier League, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. No. Al Ahly of Egypt. So I guess maybe they're in more of a Farmers League than the Bundesliga, maybe. So let's look at their recent fixtures then, because these are quite interesting. Because once again, these are just playing in cups as well. So they beat Samoa 4-1 in the league, and then they beat Raja Casablanca 6-5 on penalties in the CAF Super Cup final after drawing 1-1. That's how they are in this tournament. But that was on the 22nd of December, and then they played Future. What? Then they drew 1-1, and that was on Boxing Day. They haven't played since, because they were supposed to have a game this weekend, but that's been postponed in their league, as they are playing in the second round of the tournament. So, interesting. So let's move on to CF Monterrey. They are known as Monterrey. Nickname is Rayados, but they are Club de Futbol Monterrey of Mexico, and play in Liga MX. So let's just look at their recent games, because these are a bit shaky. So they on the first match day of the season, they drew 0-0 to Querétaro, and then they beat Necaxa 4-0, and then they had a 2-2 draw against Cruz Azul, which had 2 red cards. Like, what? And the equaliser wasn't just outstanding, but it finished off a late comeback. So Cruz Azul scored in the 31st minute and 54th, and then Monterrey got a red card at 51. So by 51 minutes, they were 2-0 down and down to 10. But suddenly, 88 minutes, Cruz Azul get the red card, and then 90 plus 2, Monterrey score their first, and 90 plus, guess what? 7. 90 plus 7 to score the equaliser. So they can stage a comeback, so keep an eye on them. But hopefully not too much of a problem. They shouldn't be. Sorry if there's any Monterrey fans or any of these fans out here, but you know, Chelsea minded. No. And they will play Al Ahly on Saturday. So we move on to Al Hilal. This is a Saudi football club based in Riyadh, which is where the Formula E EP was last weekend. That was shocking. That was just, I hate Formula E. Bring back Formula 1 quick, please. And they compete in the Saudi Professional League. They beat Al Tayyi 4-0, Al Tawoun 3-2, and then drew to Al Batin 1-1 on to Palmeiras of Brazil. They are Sociedade Esportiva Palmeiras, commonly known as Palmeiras, in Sao Paulo. So let's look at their recent fixtures. apparently they have a 15-year-old wonder kid, so maybe we'll see him at the World Cup. Who knows? So they beat Ponte Preta 3-0, drew with São Bernardo 1-1, and beat Água Santa 1-0. So hopefully they won't be too much of a threat to us. But we'll have to keep our eyes out for them and just hope they lose in the semi-finals. If they lose in the semi-finals and we go to the final, we've pretty much won the competition. But we can't let ourselves think like that, because that's where things go wrong, and England would know about that. So, next thing, I'm English. How can I watch the Club World Cup? Well, here is how you can watch the Club World Cup. So, you can watch all of these matches for the Club World Cup on channel 4/E4. Thank you so much, because I was worrying that we wouldn't be able to watch it, but normally they show it on channels like ITV or BBC anyway. But this year, E4 have earned the rights. On to the next thing. Robots. VAR. Good or bad? That's for you to decide. Maybe let me know. I feel like we're taking the element of human out of the sport, and this has been enhanced because during Club World Cup, Chelsea is set to become the first Premier League club to trial robot liner, like robot referees. Yes, that is correct. And apparently their limb track system, which relies on special cameras attached to the roofs of stadiums and creates an animated skeleton of players through 29 data points. This will speed up decision making around marginal offside calls. VAR referees will receive a near instant alert to whether the technology determines a player is onside or not, and that will be immediately replayed to the referee around half a second. FIFA says this has the potential to provide new insights for coaches, medical staff and fans, and the technology would enable backroom staff to analyse the action from the point of view of a specific player on the pitch, scrutinise a match-changing moment from the perfect angle, or guess a bird's-eye view of the pitch. The governing body hopes to implement it fully in time for November's World Cup after a successful trial in the recent Arab Cup, which was held in Qatar. I don't like it. It feels like we're taking humans out of sport. There has to be human error. I mean, Premier League referees are shocking. Yes, there's too many errors. But errors are human. Errors are natural. We just have to leave it up to the humans. You know, only the human knows best. Yes, robots can be clever, but only the human knows what's best. Like, there could be a little tap and the player goes down, and a robot could think, oh, contact, it's a penalty, but it's not, is it really? And only a human knows the full intent of what a human is going to do. So that's my take on it. I think it's bad, but it can be positive to help us get good decisions, such as Olivier Giroud against Atletico Madrid. Let me know what you think. So, on to the next part, the squad for this tournament. Now, I'm assuming that it's like an international match and we can have literally all our squad on the bench. So, I've kept a back four, because we've been playing quite well with back four, really, without a proper left back. Obviously we've got Alonso, but is he proper left back? I wouldn't say so. He's more of a midfielder than anything. So in defence, ahead of Mendy, it has to be Mendy, right? Because it's Mendy, no explanation there. I've had to put Marcos because we haven't got a left back. We're really disappointed with the club for not signing a left back during the transfer window. That was the opportunity, but we didn't. And then Rudiger and Thiago Silva in central defence. Again, no questions there. They're just rock solid. We need to give Rudiger a new contract. I'm glad Silva's got another year. Cesar Azpilicueta in the right back, captain, right, got to have him in there. The midfield, this is a tough one, but I've gone for Kovacic on left mid, Conte central defence. You can't you can't knock that. And then obviously Mason Mount on right midfielder, my favourite player at Chelsea at the minute. He's smashing it. Then up front, I've gone for a front three of Werner on the left because he seems to do well in the left wing position. And he said something the other day about how he doesn't know why he still gets support. I'll tell you why you got to support Werner, because we can see you fighting and trying to do your best for the club and do everything you can. You've been there when we needed you, such as semi-final, scoring that tap in versus Real Madrid, even though it's tapping, got us to a final. So got to put him in there. And then I've had to do this because it's just for the pure reason that he's a big presence in the box. I've gone for Lukaku up front. Don't get me started on Lukaku. Fuming with him, and ever since then his confidence has been shot. So it's just like, well, are you actually that bothered? And then on the right wing, I have gone for the Moroccan wizard Hakim Ziyech. His goals against Brighton and Tottenham have shown exactly what he can do to the haters. I can't believe people ever doubted him. He's such a good player. He showed it for Ajax. He's coming to Chelsea, and he's done wonders already. So that is why I put him on the right wing. So that is my team. Now for the subs, I put Havertz, Pulisic, Kepa, Sarr, Barkley, Kloba, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, Niguez, and if you're allowed the larger squad, you can even include players like Hall. He's done very well, and maybe even someone like Vale just to accompany where we don't have them areas because of injury. So hopefully nobody gets COVID or anything, because we've got a limited squad and we could have done with some signings really. But I think that we could easily get to the final. Al Jazeera versus Pire, that could be, I'd say, a Pire win. Ali versus Monterrey, I'd say Monterrey win. Al Hilal to beat Pire. Palmeiras to beat their team and us to beat our team. So Palmeiras versus Chelsea in the final. And I'd love to say 2-1 to Chelsea in the final, and we come home with the Club World Cup. So on to my final segment now, but month preview. I would have done a January month review if I was a bit earlier, but I'm a bit late now, so we'll just do the preview. Sorry. So Plymouth this weekend, I'm predicting a 4-0 win. We can't go too ham because we want to go and get that Club World Cup after, with the semi-final being on the 9th. But obviously we need to try because it is the best competition, like the world's oldest cup competition. We need to win it. Been in the final 2 years in a row now. We have to get there again, and this time slot it home, take it. So 4-0 to Chelsea there. We would have had Arsenal after the World Cup, but that's not happening now. Then we have Crystal Palace in the league. It'll be a tough one. It won't be like the first match of the season when we beat them 3-0, because Vieira's gotten playing so well. Totally different to Roy Hodgson, and they're flying. And knowing us at the minute, hopefully I'll be wrong and we'll improve. We'll see when I do pre-match talk, but I think a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace, unfortunately. Then we are back in Champions League action, round of 16, leg 1 of 2, with the whole draw mess up. We got Lille, and then they redo it, we got Lille again, so we're like, oh yes! Oh, we're going to get the Bayern Munich or something that we always do. Oh, we got Lille again. But I'm predicting a 2-0 win to Chelsea in that game. We would have then been playing Leicester, but that game has been postponed because of the EFL Cup on the 27th of February. The final, the big one against Liverpool. My Chelsea heart is saying 1-0 to Chelsea, but my brain is saying 1-0 to Liverpool. It'll be a tough one, very tough one, but hopefully we will come home with that trophy and add it to our cabinet. So that is all, guys. Thank you very much for watching this first video. Let me know down below what sort of things you want to see. I'm going to do everything like match previews, match after talks, and random videos like on history or something like that. So let me know down below, and let me know your predictions for the Club World Cup, and hopefully I'll be making more of these for the final of us winning our first Club World Cup. With all that being said, guys, keep that blue flag flying high. See you later.
Chelsea, Chelsea, no one can stop us now. Chelsea, boys in blue, Chelsea, Chelsea, we love you.